So Chase Elliott, your top price driver at 10,500. He's one of two, along with Kyle Larson, over 10K. So are either of those guys worth paying up for, Geoff?
So, I mean, from a strategy standpoint, you may get lower ownership, it feels like, on them this week, but no, they don't really feel like you need to pay up for these dudes at all. You've got Martin Truex Jr. down there at 9,600, who's just got a fantastic record at this event. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be on him because he's driven well lately too. But I mean, I think you can even go further down the list. There's so many playable guys in like the high 8K range, like Ross Chastain, who's just been lighting up the rubber lately. I'm still trying to deal with these NASCAR terms, but I mean, Alex Bowman is driven really solid. He's coming off a week of getting criticized for backing into wins. So there's tons of playable people. I think the biggest thing here is, the lineup construction, I think, is going to be very similar this week, but I will say that you should probably be starting lower down. I'll say like Ross Chastain is probably the guy that you should be looking at the most this week at 8,900.
Pearce, what do you think? Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, they're the super expensive guys. Do you feel like you need to pay up for one of them?
Well, first, let's talk about records. Let me peel back the curtain a little bit. I don't like the repeat picks that I give in my articles in the videos.
Wow.
But in the article last week, I had Ross Chastain at plus 2,600 to win, and he won.
My man! My man!
That doesn't factor into the graphic, but I imagine if you put that into the graphic, I would have done a couple of laps around that.
You already did.
Number. But yeah, you don't want to play Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott was okay last year in the fall race. I had an issue on pit road, but you look at last year's day race, he almost got lapped at Richmond. Sure, he was decent at Phoenix in the last race, and his pit crew kind of hurt him a little bit. But Elliott, as Geoff mentioned, really doesn't compare well to Truex. And then Kyle Larson, if there's one track where I don't want to play Kyle Larson, it's at Richmond. These short, flat tracks, he hasn't quite figured them out yet. Of course, he will figure one of them out eventually, but even when he does, a win's probably not going to be enough. I need him to lead laps, and he hasn't really demonstrated that he can lead a bunch of laps at this specific track. There's a lot of guys in the $9,000 range, specifically the JGR cars. That's where I would target.